June 17th. This is the meeting of the Rules, Confirmations, and Public Elections Committee. I am detecting quorum with myself, Vice Chair Cass, Council Members Rutherford and Wiener, and Pro Tem Svoboda, and Chair Toombs being present. Pursuant to Tennis Code annotated section 844-112, time is set aside at the beginning of every meeting for public comment, but there is nobody signed up for public comment here today. All right, we'll move forward with our agenda. I do have a consent agenda for us. It is items 1 through 4. If there's anything that anybody wishes to remove from consent, let me know. I'll go ahead and read everything into the record, and then we'll remove items from consent if anybody wishes to, and go from there. So first on the agenda is RS 2025-1318, a resolution recognizing the legacy of the Stonewall Uprising and its lasting impact on the fight for LGBTQ plus rights. Sponsors Hill, Gadd, Benedict, and Bradford. RS 2025-1319, a resolution recognizing the 10th anniversary of the United States Supreme Court's opinion in Obergefell versus Hodges, which legalized marriage equality in Tennessee and across the United States. Sponsors Benedict, Bradford, Hill, and Gadd. RS 2025-1320, a resolution recognizing June 19th, 2025 as Juneteenth in Nashville and Davidson County. Sponsors Gamble, Vo, Nash, Evans, Harrell, and others. RS 2025-1321, a resolution recognizing June 27, 2025 as National HIV Test Day in Nashville and Davidson County. Sponsors Gadd, Bradford, Hill, and Benedict. Is there anything that anybody wishes to remove from the consent agenda? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? So we've got 7 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting for the consent agenda. Next are late filed items. First up is a resolution to approve a First Amendment to 3 grant contracts for constructing affordable housing between the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, acting by and through the Metro Housing Trust Fund Commission, and certain nonprofit organizations. And I do believe there is a memo on this. Actually, I'm not seeing a memo on this one.
The memo was filed
Okay.
with the council office.
Okay, so there. Let me make sure I'm getting all my ducks in a row with this paperwork. Here we go. Okay, this is from the planning department. It says, and I'll just read this memo into the record for folks. This memorandum outlines 3 urgent actions required at the June 17, 2025 Metro Council meeting concerning contracts awarded through the Barnes Fund, the Barnes Housing Trust Fund in June 2023. These actions are necessary to amend existing contracts to either revise funding terms or extend project timelines in accordance with recommendations from the Housing Trust Fund Commission. Council action is needed to prevent the expiration of these contracts and to support continued progress on affordable housing developments. There is further, there are 3 other paragraphs in this memo, but I think that first paragraph sums it up pretty well as the reason for the late filed nature of this resolution and why it needs to be heard now. Is there any discussion on this? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to, do we have a motion to approve suspending Rule 13 for this?
So moved. Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, we'll move to vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? Okay, so we got 7 in favor and wait, 6 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Okay. Next, we have another late filed resolution. This is a resolution accepting an in-kind grant for Sister Cities of Nashville and to the Metropolitan Government, acting by and through the Metropolitan Board of Parks and Recreation to fund a commissioned art mural on the external side wall of the Morgan Park Community Center, including future maintenance costs. Again, there is a memo attached to this from the Parks Department. It reads, Metro Parks respectfully requests that this resolution be accepted for late file for the June 17th council agenda. The reason for this request is that the grantor, Sister Cities Nashville, needs to complete the work by 6/30/25. Sister Cities is working under the terms of a grant which requires the art to be completed by June 30th, 2025. Therefore, it is urgent that it is urgent for council to consider the resolution as soon as possible in June. Accordingly, please accept this resolution for a late file as emergency pursuant to council rules of procedure 13. Having heard the explanation, is there any discussion? Seeing none, do we have a motion to suspend Rule 13?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? Got 6 in favor, 0 against, and 0 not voting. Next is another late file resolution. This is a resolution appropriating a total of $1,525,540 from the Nashville Public Library to various nonprofit organizations for the provision of free and high-quality after-school and summer programming through the library's Nashville After Zone Alliance after-school and out-of-school time coordinating system. And there is also a memo on this one. The memo reads, this memorandum outlines 2 urgent actions required at the June 17th, 2025 Metro Council meeting concerning contracts and amendments awarded through the Nashville Public Library Board to NAZA grantees for the provision of free and high-quality out-of-school time programs. Council action is needed to prevent the disruption of NAZA-funded summer programming. Nashville Public Library funds free and high-quality out-of-school time programs through the Nashville After School Zone Alliance. NAZA-funded programs occur year-round due to the needs of Metro youth during both school year and summer months. It is imperative that NAZA that contracting process for the next fiscal year begins on July 1st, which requires that NAZA partners receive expeditious funding for the summer period. Having heard the explanation in the memo, is there any further discussion on this? Seeing none, do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
So moved. Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting to suspend the rules. And then we also have another late filed resolution. This is a resolution approving Amendment 1 to grant contracts with various nonprofits for the provision of free and high-quality out-of-school programs through the Nashville After Zone Alliance. Same memo applies to this one. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Okay, last we have a late filed amendments to BL 2025-833. This is a bill to be entitled the Budget Ordinance of the Metropolitan Government of Nashville and Davidson County, Tennessee, for fiscal year 2026. Amendment 1 is filed by Councilmember Stiles, who is present here today. Thank you for being here, Councilmember Stiles. So first we'll take up, first, do we have a motion to consider Amendment 1?
So moved. Second.
Moved and properly seconded. It is properly before us. Councilmember Stiles, this is the Pet Community Center Amendment. You want to be heard on this?
Yes, if I could. Thank you so much, Chair. So this is $20,000, which we did last year to help with our spay and neuter problem in Davidson County. Right now, as we all know, Max is at capacity at the facility, and we are unable to really address our spay and neuter program until we move into our new facility, which will be coming in the future. Pet Community Center has offered, which is down the street from MAC, they have offered to have another year of an extra day of doing spay neuter services, and that $20,000 will cover that.
And then as to the late file nature of the amendment, knowing that we're in the budget process, a lot of late file things before us, but could you talk to the specific nature of the late files on these 2 amendments?
Yes, so I will say that the onus is completely my own. I thought that they were in there, and then realized yesterday for Safe Bar, funding sources were not working, so that's why that one is late. Pet Community Center, I had put that on the wish list earlier for the first round of the substitute, so.
And so since we are just considering whether or not to approve a suspension of Rule 13, it's my understanding that we can take these up as a consolidated vote.
I see no reason why not.
Okay. So yeah, do you want to also sort of walk us through the Safe Bar Program amendment? Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. So for the last 3-4 years, this body has supported the Sexual Assault Center's program Safe Bar, which is where trainers go in and assist bartenders with kind of keeping an eye on what could be a potential sexual assault situation. They have coasters where they can test the drinks and see if there's GHB in them. They are also creating an app. So they had originally won a grant to create the app. It wasn't finished. So we have given money to finish the app and make it available for anyone that's coming here to town. So it's tourists and residents alike that would be able to pull up this information and know which bars are potentially safe, and the ones that are opting to not participate, that might be a bar that they might not want to go to. This goes to the app. It also goes to marketing materials, as well as volunteers that are participating in the trainings.
Having heard the explanation, both of the amendments and of the late filed nature, is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Yeah, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor of suspending Rule 13?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Next, we have Board and Commission appointees and nominees. The clerk will be up for interview this evening, and then for reconsideration next meeting as well. So first, we have the Human Relations Commission reappointment of Dakota Gallman for a term expiring on April 18th, 2020. Mr. Gallman, thank you for being here. Please come forward.
Oh, in that seat?
Oh, yes.
Well, I don't remember this last time.
Would you like a parking validation or a bus pass?
Oh, parking would be great.
Okay. Here you go.
Thank
Are you currently a Davidson County resident?
you. Yes, I am.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions other than what you're being reappointed to here today?
No, I do not.
Okay, perfect. So tell us a little bit about why you want to continue to serve.
Well, I was fortunate enough 3 years ago to have Mayor Cooper appoint me to this role. And so over the last 3 years, I've got to see the work that the commission does and the impact that it has in our community. And so I would like to continue serving on the commission and guiding the body as we navigate. The next few years, I think, are going to be very important for us as a city under the current administration and the types of things that we're seeing in our community at the moment. And so I would love to continue to have a voice in some of those matters and a seat at the table on those issues. And then as an LGBTQ person as well, I think it's important that we have those voices on the commission as well.
Perfect. And so during your, I see that you have served between 2 and 3 years on this commission already. What's one of the lessons that you feel like you've learned or an experience that you've had on the board thus far that you think will be of a benefit moving forward?
Well, I've seen how the commission and the staff had handled sort of the things that were going on with the Metro Arts Commission, and so I feel like I've gotten sort of a significant grievance that we addressed with those folks, and so I think moving forward that's something that a lot of the new commissioners will not have had, but I think it's important that when we're approaching things like that we're deliberate and not lopsided in sort of addressing those grievances, and that we're doing it in an even way that fulfills both sides. Because when you get into those types of things, you know, it can be easy to want to give one side everything that it's asking for, but in a negotiation, obviously, there's give and take there. So I think it's important that as commissioners we understand that what our role is when it comes to resolving those things.
Perfect. And Director Tucker, do you wish to speak to this reappointment, or?
Can we keep him?
Well said.
Thank you, Chair.
Of course, anything from the committee? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much.
Thank you all.
Okay. Next, we have the Human Relations appointment of Sarah Martin for a term expiring on April 18th, 2027. Thank you for being here, Ms. Martin. Would you like a bus pass or a parking validation? Okay. Are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes,
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions other than what you're being appointed to here today?
I do not.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about why you want to serve.
I was asked and I said yes. I'm
Fair
kidding.
enough.
I'm kidding. So I'm not a board collector. So I don't like to make commitments that I can't keep, that I like to collect boards just to collect them and not actually put in the work. So for the last several years, I've been learning how to practice law. I went to law school in 2016, which took up all my time. And so since then, I've been trying to grow roots in the legal community, learn how to practice law, and get my feet wet and make a difference there. And now I feel like I'm finally at a place where the gears are greased and I have like the time to actually sink my teeth into something and actually make a difference.
Perfect.
That's why.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your willingness to serve. I've got a question that kind of has two parts. First, if you could sort of talk to how your experience as a civil rights attorney will be of a benefit for this commission, and then addressing any potential conflicts where you might have to recuse yourself. I appreciate you disclosing those on your questionnaire, particularly as it relates to a pending matter before the courts right now. But so could you talk about how your legal experience can be of benefit and how you would navigate those conflicts?
Sure. If I were involved in a case, obviously that had some implications, I have no problem recusing. I don't intend to use this position as a bargaining chip or anything in any of those matters. I expect that that's not the only time we will have sued Metro as a law firm, because things happen. But my priority is always going to be the pursuit of justice. So, in terms of how my experience relates, I spent the last 4 to 5 years doing medical malpractice. So I was mostly steeped in like suing assisted living facilities and nursing homes for abuse and neglect of elders. And I learned a lot there. And then I recently moved over to a civil rights practice last fall because the writing was on the wall about certain things that were happening in the United States and our community. And I just felt like that was the time to make a move and to do something where I could have a different kind of impact, not that my work before was not impactful. So I am interested now in using those skills that I've acquired to put that to use where I can, whether that's in my work day to day or like in a volunteer capacity. But I do think I have some expertise in mediations and things like that can be helpful, I think. Just want to be useful.
Yeah, very much appreciated. Does the administration have a position on this appointment?
Sarah is fierce. I would not want to be on her bad side. She'd be a great addition to the commission.
He's like, I'll tell you later when you then I will tell you everything. I have a reputation.
Fair enough, don't we all? Anything from the committee?
I have one.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we've had anyone come in here before and said that they're not a board collector.
Yeah.
So I like that you said that. So what can you tell us about what made you say yes to this one as opposed to maybe some other opportunities that you didn't do?
I think most of my opportunities that have come my way and I genuinely just didn't have the bandwidth for were like, nonprofit boards and things of that nature. So this is the first time a Metro commission has been on my radar. But when I was initially asked, obviously I think it's a very, very important commission. I think that strategically it is going to be more important in the next number of years. and I think I can make a difference there with my expertise.
Thank you.
Anything further from the committee? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting to approve. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Next, we have the Human Relations Commission appointment of Dr. Carmen Reese Foster for a term expiring on April 17th, 2027. Thank you for being here, Dr. Foster.
Thank you for having me.
Would you like a parking validation or a bus pass?
Oh, yes, please. Thank you.
Are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions other than what you're being appointed to here today?
No, sir.
Okay, perfect. So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve.
I, like Sarah, was also asked by someone that I respect really well and who knows me really well and knows my skill set and my research area. But there's one thing about the Human Relations mission statement, one city for all people, that really captured my heart. I'm a social worker by training, by profession. I teach social work at Belmont University, and that is something that's just a part of who I am in both my profession and in my personal life. One of our values as the social work profession is respecting the inherent dignity and worth of all people. And I feel like that really coincides well with the mission of this particular commission, and really understanding that people have dignity and worth, not because they need to earn that, but that's just who they are. So how do we create policies and listen to people who feel marginalized, who've been overlooked? I think that that's important to remember, that we are one city for all people. We're a diverse city, and we've got to live together and coexist. So I think that that's really important to live out. So that's what really drew me to this commission.
Perfect, yes. And your resume very much speaks for itself. Incredibly impressive. I'd love to sit and talk about some of your op-eds for hours on, but we can do that offline and some of your presentations as well. So you touched on it, but sort of want you to expand a little bit about how your professional work informs and influences how you approach everything from a social work and a health and all policy standpoint, and how you help to administer the mission of this commission.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I will echo what everybody else has said, is the importance of this particular commission and the time that we're living in. I think for my students, it's so important for them to be able to see social work in action, so that I'm not just there teaching them policies and teaching them theories and saying, oh, this is how it's supposed to happen, but this would allow me to be on the front lines of the action. This would allow me to be a model for them of how important it is to be involved at what's happening on the local level, so that they know the impact that they're making. A lot of times, especially with undergraduates, they feel pretty hopeless when they feel like their voice isn't being heard, and this is a long process, and how are we playing the long game, and what does it mean to be strategic in that way politically, and I think it's really important for them to see social workers in action, put boots to the ground, and so this would give me an opportunity to not just kind of say that in the classroom, but to also practice that in reality.
Perfect, thank you. Anything from the committee? Does the mayor's office wish to speak on this one as well?
Yeah, Carmen's an incredible human being, crazy smart, dedicated to justice. We're lucky to have her.
Perfect. Seeing nothing further from the committee, we'll move to the vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much, Dr. Frost.
Thank you so much.
Okay, next we have the Human Relations Commission appointment of Claudia Weber for a term expiring on April 18th, 2027.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here, Ms. Weber. Would you like a bus pass or
Thank you.
Of course. Are you currently a Davidson County resident?
I am, for the
In-
last 27 years.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions other than what you're being appointed to here today?
I have previous experience on Metro property codes and standards.
Ooh,
That's part of
fun.
my resume.
Perfect. All right, so tell us a little bit about why you want to serve.
What the doctor said.
Yes.
And by the way, do you know Kate Pooler?
I
She
do.
was my boss at Catholic Charities.
Oh, I love Kate.
I am a social worker.
Oh.
Doctor
Oh,
is,
wonderful.
we have similar feelings about the times that we're facing, and we love this city. And I also came here as a prisoner of love because my husband in the back got a job with the Nashville Predators, and so we've been here for 27 years. So also the sports experience is a very diverse experience, and my work at Catholic Charities as a caseworker was also on the front line, so to speak, of looking and finding families that were needing advocacy. So I had work experience and some life experience that I think I can add.
Yeah, perfect. I guess what would you say is like your biggest lesson from your time at Catholic Charities that you would bring to this commission?
The grants can be interrupted by the government all of a sudden, and you can lose your job.
Yeah.
And that's what
yeah.
happened to me recently, because I'm not there anymore because of grants that were, I think that Catholic Charities is an example of an agency that has a name, Catholic, and that we spent night and day, every day, trying to express to the public, the general community, that you don't have to be Catholic to get services there, even though that's a name. It's always a challenge to explain to people that, this is for everybody, and there's no requirement for going to Mass or anything. So that's one thing, and the other thing, I was also with the Tennessee Early Intervention System in state government for about 11 years, and that is another place where you want to see if there's unfairness going on with well, in that case, infants and toddlers with disabilities and their families, like what they had to get through to get certain services. So, I feel like I've been in a culture in different places where, I kind of know what to look at when something's not right.
Perfect. Yes.
Just an acknowledgement of Claudia. I've known her for probably longer than years, but I just want to acknowledge her character and her commitment to the community, and I'm Catholic, and we are can acknowledge her involvement in the Catholic initiatives that we have. So, very much support her.
Thank you, Dr. Wiener.
Ditto that.
You can't ditto. You got to say something.
Have
No.
you ever known me to be done?
No, not at all. Yeah, give me 10 minutes. I'll be right back.
Thank you. But I won't do that to you. 'Cause I'm not. So essentially, Claudia and Pete are quintessential Nashville.
Yeah.
And they would do anything for anybody in the community. Claudia's experience lends itself as a natural, as does yours. I just have known her for a minute. And so, again, I highly, highly recommend her.
Anything further from the
That was
committee?
not 10 minutes.
I gave you 10 minutes.
I know.
Anything further from the committee?
Nope.
Seeing none, we'll move to vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good to see you, Claudia.
Next, we have the Human Relations Commission reappointment of Alicia Nguyen for a term expiring on April 18th, 2028.
Me.
Ms. Nguyen, thank you for being here. Here you go.
I've been listening.
Yes. Are you currently a Davis County resident?
I am.
And do you serve on any other boards or commissions other than what you're being appointed to here today? Okay, perfect. So tell us a little bit about why you want to serve.
Yes, so I've had the privilege of serving for the last few years and seek and would welcome reappointment because I feel like I'm just getting my stride, quite honestly. So the organization, as you know, has been around for many, many years, and it's been a pleasure to assist the staff and my fellow commissioners in different areas. But I do feel like there's finding places for me to plug in with my passion for Nashville. I'm a native Nashvilleian, so I have a lot of passion for making sure that my city continues to be one that I'm proud of and I want to continue to live in. My family, we chose to raise our family here, and we hope our girls come back when they're done with their education, so I want it to be a place that they feel comfortable coming back to. And also just being able to use my profession to benefit not only the commission, but also those constituents that we serve. So I feel like it's a good mix of things that I'm passionate about, my profession as well. So, yeah.
Perfect, awesome. So I think there's definitely something to be said for having that institutional knowledge moving forward and being able to help guide this commission. In that vein, what's one of the challenges that you faced during your time on this commission thus far, which was a learning experience that you think will benefit the commission from having had that experience?
Yeah. So I think one of the things I've learned is the partnership with the staff, and that it's truly not just with Edie Tucker, but with each and every member of the staff, and how we can lend to support them, but also to understand where their limitations might be, and as members of the commission, where we can show up, with presence and with support and information to kind of balance out, or actually to provide support for them. So that's a big learning. I think I was surprised, just to see that how small and mighty that team is, but all the different ways that we can support, and not just in the presence of meetings when the camera's on and there are people that we can respond to, but also in the back, in the background, helping them out, putting some elbow grease in, showing up at events, bringing people along, being advocates, not just for the commission and our constituents, but also for the staff as well.
Perfect. Anything further from the committee? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much. Okay, next we have the Social Services Commission appointment of Dr. D'Angelo Taylor for a term expiring on April 3rd, 2030. Thank you so much for being here, Dr.
I don't
Taylor.
need either one. I parked in the wrong lot.
Okay.
And we laughed about this chair before we started this, so this is gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Happens to the best of us.
Yes, yes.
All right, Dr. Taylor. So, are you currently a Davidson County resident?
Yes, sir.
And do you serve on any other boards or metro boards or commissions other than what you're being appointed to here today?
No, sir.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about why you want to serve.
Absolutely. One of the things that drew me to this commission was the fact that, growing up in the south side of Richmond, Virginia, which is my hometown, my family, particularly my mom, was a beneficiary of a commission just like this that we had in our city. Understanding that government doesn't need to control the everyday lives of citizens, but it does need to help fill in where non-for-profits or nonprofits can't. And so when I saw the mission of this particular commission, and I've also looked at some of the work, and it's a vast amount of work that this social services, does. It is a task that, where I am now in Belmont, I've learned Belmont as one of my mentors and shared with me there. First learned Belmont, then get engaged in the community. So one of the first ways I got engaged was buying a home. And now I want to get involved in the community, and this is aligns with what I've been able to do in the past.
Absolutely. So again, your resume also very much speaks for itself. Could you talk to us a little bit about how both your personal and professional experience informs how you'll serve on this particular commission?
Absolutely. I lived in Evansville, Indiana for 6 years prior to making my way to Nashville. And one of the boards I served on was Brothers Out Saving Souls. It's called BOSS. And the impact that that particular board had on young men who were in need is going to inform how I serve, particularly in this committee. I think that on this commission, I think that there are folks who have needs who sometimes don't know how to find the help. And I think as a part of this commission, helping them understand where the help is, how they can be engaged, and also creating a system where help may be needed today, but that same person is educating the next generation on how to avoid maybe some of those pitfalls where they may need help.
Thank you. Anything from the committee?
I think going to WEU was a former Leatherneck, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Seals the deal.
Oh, that's amazing.
You don't see many of those guys around.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice to see you.
Western Illinois University for that.
Yes.
You'd have to know.
Anything further from the committee?
A lot of people with Belmont ties tonight.
That's true. Fair enough. Seeing nothing further, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, next we have board and commission confirmations. These are folks that we have previously interviewed before. We'll take these up as one consolidated vote unless anybody wishes to pull one of the two items from a consolidated vote. But these are the Historic Zoning Commission reappointment of Ben Mosley for a term expiring on June 1st, 2030, and then the Social Services Commission appointment of Chandra Allen for a term expiring on April 3rd, 2030. So anybody wish to remove an item?
Ben Mosley.
Okay, we'll take that up last, and then, so we'll go ahead and move forward with the vote on Chandra Allen. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and properly seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, move to the vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any not voting? 8 in favor, 0 against, 0 not voting. To approve. And going back to the Historic Zoning Commission reappointment of Ben Mosley for a term expiring on June 1st, 2030. Pro Tem, do you want to address this one? Or?
I wish to vote no.
Okay. Want to share anything that you know?
Just same thing from the last meeting that we had. I have very much concerned in regard to naming something historic when it hasn't met those requirements, just due to the fact that the community doesn't want change. I think we do need to look at this with a different scope, right? We have some historically Black neighborhoods who we haven't given the same attention to, and I had a problem with the rezoning that was done in council member, oh Lord, I'm blanking tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. There we go.
That one.
Fair enough. Any further discussion from the committee? Seeing none, we'll move to a vote. Those in favor?
Aye.
Let's do a show of hands. 6, okay. Those opposed? Those not voting? So we have 6 in favor, 1 against, 1 not voting to approve. Okay, that comes to the end of our agenda. I do not have a chair's report. Is there anything that anybody wishes to share with the committee? Seeing none, do we have a motion to stand adjourned?
So moved.
Moved properly seconded. Without objection, we do now stand adjourned. Thank you, everybody.